Meet Natalie. Natalie loves books.
This is your brain on books. Any questions? And this is Angela. She's a very serious jazz singer.
Shooby-dooby-dooby-doop-doop-doo. And sure, we both like to stay informed, but this world sometimes, am I right? You know what we need? 30 minutes of meditation.
Pop culture meditation.
So we're here to remind you.
We get it. You're smart. But right now, take a deep breath and put your books down.
And rolling. Hello, Natalie.
Hello, Angela.
Merry Christmas. I'm
Merry
feeling
Christmas.
very festive. I'm wearing my most festive shades. Do you like them?
I love them. They're so
Yeah.
Elton John Christmas.
I know. It's like Elton John meets Rudolph meets, I don't even know. Like this brown, I think, is really working for my complexion. Don't you?
Oh, it's really
Everybody,
good with the copper tones.
Yeah, the copper tones in my hair and whatnot. I feel like everybody needs to be wished right off the bat a Merry Christmas because
Happy
this
holidays.
is coming out. I know. Happy holidays, everybody. This is coming out on December 17th. And so today, Natalie and I have decided we're gonna throw it back to one of the classics that I feel like I watch every year. And for some reason, around the holidays, it seems like we watch this movie, but I don't really know why, because it's not necessarily a Christmas movie. It's just one of those family movies that everybody ends up watching.
Right. Well,
Right.
it's so festive. So I guess it just
It's just
kind of
very
falls into the
colorful.
festive category.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's tell the people, everybody, welcome to Put Your Books Down, by the way.
Thank you for
Hello.
being here.
Thank you for being here. Oh my gosh. Yes, Jinx. We are so, I feel like so lucky that we still get to do this
Oh my
podcast
God.
after all these years. I
So
cannot believe
grateful. It's
it
unbelievable.
has been going on. And I owe it all to you, Natalie, but also
Oh,
to Darren and Jeffrey, who have
yes.
just kept after us. So
And Clinton
Darren just
Productions.
won Best Producer
Yes,
of
he
the
did.
Year
Cheers
for
to Darren,
the RCast Awards. So cheers to Darren, which
producer of
is
the year.
Producer of the
That's
Year.
the whole
Amazing.
state. Okay?
It's the whole state
That's
of
not
Arkansas.
nothing.
And
That is not for nothing.
no, it's not for nothing. And I think it's a
It's
big deal. And I'm
unbelievable.
just really proud of him and really happy that he helps us do this podcast.
Yes,
So
very,
thank
very,
you.
very grateful.
And thank you to
Obsessed.
everybody who's tuning in and still continuing to watch us on YouTube and listen
Thank
to
you
us,
for
even though we're just
participating
complete
in
nut
our
jobs.
complete debauchery. I mean,
And total like self-absorbedness of
just
us just talking about our
self-indulgent hot messes.
yeah,
You know.
totally.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I'm gonna remove my glasses now so that I
Well,
can
it's time to get
real.
serious. We got to get
It's
down to
time to get
biz
serious
or
about this.
whiz.
So we were thinking in the spirit of, you know,
The hoopla.
the hoopla that's going on right now about Wicked.
Rightfully
That
so, by the way.
rightfully now I have not seen
I
it,
know, but
so
it's
just
magnificent.
FYI.
It's magnificent.
I know. I've heard that it's absolutely fantastic. I'm
Something
trying to
else.
figure out where I'm looking here. Okay, I'm looking at you now. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, Natalie, we're going to talk about The Wizard of Oz,
Yes.
which I know seems like a big bite to bite, a big thing to bite off, because I feel like this is a movie that stirs very large reactions in people and people either love it or they don't love it or they've never seen it. Like I had to show it to my friend Lisa a few years ago. You know, we're in our 50s, girl. She had never seen Wizard of Oz.
I know, but
And I'm like,
Lisa's a little bit
how-
cool. She's on the cooler
she's on the cooler side.
of like going
That's
back to the
true.
Wizard of Oz if it wasn't a thing.
Right, exactly. Like that was just not a thing in their family. They
Yeah.
just didn't watch Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And whereas my family, it was like, okay, let's
Well,
watch Wizard
your
of Oz.
family, you walk in the door and literally everybody's doing the Sound of Music.
Right. It's
Okay.
exactly. Yes, for sure.
So.
So anyway, so Wizard of Oz, if you haven't seen it, my friends, you need to go watch it. It's on a million I think it's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, it's on Max. It's on Max.
Oh, Max.
I know
yeah.
for sure that it's
That's
on
how
Max.
we watched it. Yeah.
It came out in 1939. Okay. So the 30s in the United States, the 30s in the world was a weird time. But the book was written in the 1900s, like early 1900. So there have been times where people have said that there's like political themes and this is like a commentary on society and whatever. We're not going to really go into that much today because that would be entirely pick your books up. And this is put your books down. So
Right.
we're going to
I'm certainly going to be doing some character analysis.
For sure.
I mean, we're not
For sure.
we're not telling the plot here. There's no listen.
No, no.
You've
I
seen
mean,
it.
if you don't know
We're
the
not
plot,
doing that. We're
then
not doing
you
a
know,
synopsis. Okay.
no. We're gonna mostly talk about the characters, and we're also gonna talk about like how it makes us feel and whatnot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I think it also
that's
changes
kinda
as you get older.
for
I mean,
sure.
it's just bananas how different I
Yeah.
feel about this than growing up. And actually, I've always felt one thing the same about this movie, that it's it scared me.
Okay, that's our first
I thought it was kind of
point is
scary. Actually, really
kind
scary.
of
Kind of really
so
scary.
kind of like extremely scary.
Kind
Like
of
I'm
like
still
really,
scared
really
to this
scared
day.
me.
I'm scared.
But
Yeah.
but it's
So
mesmerizing to watch. So that takes away some of
right.
your fear. But I've always felt really anxious watching this movie, even though I
Oh
love
my
I love the movie. I'm just incredibly anxious and a bit fearful. It just scares me. And like we all
well,
know that I watch a bunch of messed up shit, but like this movie, just it's an
I
emotional
yeah.
onion for me. Since I was a little one.
Yeah,
So
so I wrote down I started kind of rewatching a little bit of it today. First of all, the opening scene, let's just maybe this is why we think it's scary. I think this might be what it
well, this
is.
is when it
So
starts from the
it
beginning.
starts from the beginning and you're in sepia tone, okay? It's black and white, but it's really sepia tone. It's gorgeous, actually.
And all the children that have never seen it are waiting for the color. They're like, please God,
Oh
tell me
yeah,
it's not just going to be this color the whole time.
exactly. Like,
Bored.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, bored
Bored
out of
and
my
scared.
soul.
Yeah.
But can you imagine being a kid in the 30s and going to see this in the movie theater and like just you'd die? You would just die when the color
I
came
think that
in.
they
Oh my
probably had
gosh.
experienced a lot of really cool stuff, because I imagine you have to be super wealthy to go to the picture show back then.
I don't know if you were. If I think it was kind of like I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The opening scene. Here's what I think. Why I think it's scary, and you can give your thoughts too. I'm going to give you my thoughts about why I think it's a little scary.
Sure.
Everyone's yelling at Dorothy. This whole entire beginning scene, everybody's yelling at
The
Dorothy.
whole movie, Angela.
I know
The
everybody's
girl is
like
a whipping
mad.
bag.
She is a whipping post for everybody,
They're
and I'm like,
so
is this
mean.
they're so mean to her. And and you realize like she lives with her aunt and uncle. So that means she's an orphan. Okay. We know this from the book that she's an orphan, but it's never discussed like why she doesn't have parents.
We just know that
But
she's with grumpy Auntie M.
yeah, grumpy Auntie M, and everybody's like the Miss Gulch is like everybody's like, you're a screw up, your dog is a screw up.
Everyone hates
she's
you.
all everybody hates you. She's all dolled up in her cute little dirndl dress. Her hair is immaculate. She honestly
She's
it makes you wonder
sweet.
like she's sweet and she's a fish out of water in this scenario,
Yeah.
right? But she also wants to run away because everybody's being so mean to her about her dog Toto, and like Miss Gulch is mad because the dog like goes in and tries to scare her cat or whatever, and then she brings it back, and then the Auntie M
You
is
mean
like,
Judas?
yeah, Auntie M. Yeah,
Yeah. I would want to
Judas.
run away too, if
Yeah.
what was happening to me, which you know how I have a parallel
A parallel.
story of my own with
A
that.
parallel.
Is that
Yes.
yes. But why don't you
parallel. I
tell
like
the
that you
listener
yeah.
why she wanted to run away? Really get down to, other than the fact that everyone's an asshole to her and she's just
Well,
darling. What was
she
what was
won
the thing?
the thing was that her dog was gonna be caught by Miss Gulch and taken away
To be
and to be made into
destroyed
destroyed.
is the word.
Yeah, I'll
they used.
destroy your little
The
dog.
dog.
Yeah,
No, the
it's
dog
terrible.
has to go to the
And get
place and get
destroyed.
destroyed.
Yeah, and
And
it's just and she has
and
no
Ian
choice.
lets her take Toto to be destroyed.
Oh man,
I mean, I
it's
would
just I
absolutely
know,
run away.
I know. I would too, and I think
No
that's the
thoughts.
point.
I mean,
I feel like back in those days too, like kids were always being scared by adults, and it was like
back in
you're
those
supposed to be
days.
you're supposed to be seen and not heard. But I mean, really, back in those like a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
seen and not heard. Stop lipping off. You
Yeah.
just quit your
Let
complaining,
this person take your dog to destroy.
and you should be lucky that you have a place to live. You should be lucky that you're even here.
I mean,
Like
and
that's the
also,
vibe.
sure, okay, but
Yes,
she's a kid,
I
and it's a
know,
dog,
and I
and this is
know, and
woman.
it's her only little
It's her
thing that
best
she
friend.
has.
It's the only thing that's nice to her. It's the only
I
thing that
know.
shows her like kindness is
I know.
the dog. And you know what?
I know
This
what.
dog is like sent to go get destroyed. And thank God
Yep.
Toto is a savvy little Cairn Terrier.
He
All right.
he is the God loves a terrier.
God loves a terrier. And we had a Cairn Terrier when I was little. It was the first dog when I was alive because, I ruined everything for my family. They can't have cats 'cause cats can kill me.
Oh, right.
So we
right,
had this
'cause you're
Cairn
allergic,
Terrier and
really allergic.
named Dudley, and Dudley bit me
Mm.
and had to go away. But do you know where Dudley actually did go? To an
Where?
actual farm to play with other animals,
Is that what they
not to
told
be
you?
destroyed. No, Bruce, my parents would never do that. But
Okay.
I was, he was a biter.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel, I also wasn't as connected. It was my, when you have a dog growing up, your parents take care of it a lot. And I was like, cool.
Yeah, that's true.
But I was
Yeah.
happy to know that Dudley was okay, or Dudley ran away. Anyway, we
Yeah.
thought we'd seen Dudley for years just roaming the streets. Like Dudley became like a hood rat. Like he was too street smart to be in our
Right.
house. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah.
anyway, and then the whole thing with Pete when he bit,
Yeah.
that friend. I mean,
I
and
know.
I was gonna go on the lam and pretend that he was destroyed and live at the
Yeah.
river house. These
know.
are, and
I know.
I didn't eat or sleep for 2 weeks, let alone with
I
little
know.
Dorothy.
I know.
She's
Poor
a
little
child.
Dorothy.
So
She's a
that's
child.
what we were set
She's-
up with. So I forgot
We are.
about that
Yes.
part in
yes,
the movie.
that's a huge part of this. That's a
Huge
humongous part of it.
part.
And the dog sort of represents like her heart and her all that's good in her life is
Yeah,
this
It's
dog.
this
And-
Toto, her
yeah,
only
and then-
protector, her
I know.
only
And
the
then
only one that has her back.
She runs away and she
She goes to
the
that
dog-
creepy pervert, seance.
She- she goes to his name is Professor Marvel. And
the
she
old man that
goes
has
to
the
him.
kids come in his
She's
thing. Oh, and I mean
Yeah.
by that I mean like his trailer.
yeah, thank you for clarifying
You know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah. So she goes to this Dr. Marvel and he's like, come look in my crystal ball. Okay.
I mean,
And she's
ugh.
got her little basket.
I mean,
and
what
this
else can
picture
happen
of
to her?
Auntie M. I mean, this little
She
girl has a picture of
where
her.
no guidance.
She has a picture of Auntie M and herself in her basket that she's going to run away with. Like, how sweet is that she took a picture at least, Like, if you're going to run away, if I was running away, I wouldn't have pictures of any of my people in my family. I'd be so mad.
If you're running
But
away from them,
Dorothy
you leave
had
it.
a picture. I guess it was just like her. I just I don't know.
Conditioned.
So she is told by this ne'er-do-well con man Professor Marvel guy, you got to go back because someone is missing you because he sees the picture. So she's running back and hence we have
comes
the tornado.
the
She gets hit in
tornado.
the head. She goes, okay. They're all running around and looking for Dorothy. They can't find her. Now they realize they can't find her. Now
Yeah.
they feel terrible.
Yeah.
But not terrible enough to like try to listen for her knocking on the cellar door when she tries to get in there when the tornado is happening and nobody lets her in.
Where's
to the
everyone
cellar.
else? Oh, maybe
They're
were they
all
all
in the
looking?
cellar.
They're all
They're all
Oh, no
looking
one
for her,
waited
but then
for her.
eventually they tried, but then like she eventually
Yeah,
gets
they
back
waited
to the
like
house
a minute.
and she's like trying to hit on the door with her foot and they won't let her in.
They're
I'm like, well,
you snooze, you
oh,
lose,
sorry.
Dorothy.
Snooze, you
Sorry
lose,
about
Dorothy.
it.
Sorry. Guess you're dead. So, then we have the tornado. She's,
Yep.
blah,
She
blah,
gets
blah.
knocked out.
She gets knocked out. Next thing you know, she's boom. She's
Here we go. Here we
she's-
go.
Here we go. Here we go with the Wizard of Oz. Her
I used to
house goes
fast
in.
forward the first part of the movie because of that.
Okay. But let's talk for just a brief moment about possibly the scariest part of the movie for me. This is the scariest part of the movie for me. When she starts going into the tailspin,
Yes.
into the tornado,
Yes.
and she's having all the visions of all the chickens going by and all the things going by. And then who do you see? Miss Gulch riding her
Gulch,
bike.
Terrifying.
And Miss Gulch is riding. And then she turns into the witch.
Yeah. I mean, bless that woman that played that role.
Margaret Hamilton.
Yes.
By the way, this is I'll get this other thing about the slippers in a second, but she goes into this dream world and then she starts. Okay, that's as much plot as I'm going to give you because everybody knows the plot.
Yeah,
She
and now
ends
we're
up
in Oz.
in Oz.
We're in Oz.
And she's on the yellow brick road and da 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 da. And the house has fallen on the witch. And here comes Glinda the good witch coming down. Like, are you a good witch or a bad witch? And all the munchkins are all shy. And they're like, we think we don't know what she is. Blah, blah, blah.
And then she's celebrated
Natalie.
for accidentally killing someone. And
Yeah, she accidentally ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, old witch, the wicked witch.
Yada, yada.
And then we see these
Lollipop
ruby
gang,
slippers.
adorable,
Yeah.
whatever. Weird dance.
We see these ruby slippers sticking out from under the house
Yeah.
on the witch's feet. black and white striped socks.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly the ruby slippers are on Dorothy's feet because she has killed the witch, and she's now the rightful owner of these slippers, right?
Sure.
I was literally driving to the store just like maybe an hour ago before this. Yesterday, those ruby slippers, those little red shoes that Judy Garland wore, were auctioned off yesterday. Guess how much they auctioned for? Do you know?
Like $20 million?
$28 million.
Yeah.
They were estimated to be like 5.
Yeah.
And then it went up to 28.
Yeah.
Somebody just paid $28 million for those slippers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
it continued. But see, this is what's so
they're
crazy.
real into the Wizard of Oz.
It continues though. This lore, this like this.
No, it doesn't.
The way the Wizard of Oz. I don't. It seems like in our world, the Wizard of Oz is never going to go away. I mean, why should it? Right?
I don't want it to go away.
It's amazing how this has permeated our culture in such a massive way.
Yes.
To the point where like people have written, doctoral theses. I don't like that
and
word.
I wish I had thought about this in college when I finally wrote a paper. I would have absolutely made this my thesis because it is so applicable. I mean, it really is in like so many different ways. And
personalities.
It's like you can put the Wizard of Oz. Like honestly, this is one of those movies that you can put in front of anybody in a room full of people that don't agree on things and can agree that, well, that's really something. And
it's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. Everyone. It's like this. It's like you can take another movie like that, Shawshank Redemption. You put that in a room with all different kinds of people, all believing different things. We're gonna all agree on one thing.
Yes,
it's a masterpiece.
So
it's an amazing movie.
Yes.
This is something that movies can, and also music can do with people. Like these are things that no matter where we are politically, no matter where we are with religion, if any, or whatever, you cannot argue that the Wizard of Oz is not a masterpiece. And however, it's complicated.
Yes. It's complicated.
A lot of people
rife with all kinds of
always
issues.
want to like it can sound like we're you're destroying the whimsical like magic or like the curmudgeons about Wizard of Oz. No. This is just a way to like think about it as adults. Like I think it's still too scary for my niece to watch still. I'm not sure if she's seen it or not. I'll have to ask. But the character development in this, and we got the Scarecrow, we got the Tin Man, we got the Lion, right? And these are all
Dorothy,
men that work at
a little
the farm.
Singer, by the way. We also established the singing at the beginning of the movie, and we established her longing about somewhere over the rainbow, and it's like
she's like,
I wish I could go somewhere else.
Get me out of here right now, by any means.
Maybe I could get hit on the head and meet a queen. Oh, enter the Tin Man.
Here we go. Well, so
the queens.
Well, you mean the lion?
Well, I don't know. The Tin
Man.
The
thing is, the Tin Man.
I don't know.
Okay, the guy who's supposed to be mean and wants a heart, he's never not crying. Okay, he cries all the time. There was nothing rude about him. He had a heart.
I'm just,
And the Scarecrow.
Listen. Yeah, I know. Come on.
The most sarcastic narcissist. Just kidding. I mean, I don't really think he's a narcissist.
So wait, but I want you to dive into why you wanted to talk about this and what particularly bubbles up under the surface for you.
When I was just for fun, when I was watching it the other night, I was like, I love it, but I usually fast forward through the black and white part because I'm so, I don't want to say childlike, but I'm like, come on. I want to see all the pretty stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess also it was probably because I repressed the trauma that it caused me because it is so dark and terrifying. So I watched the whole thing
flying through the air.
I'm like, by the time I get to we get into the color, I'm like, what? Wait, everyone's so mean to her. And then by the time I've got that going, now I'm like, oh, here, look, there's this like vapid, empty soul of a pretty witch here could send her back now.
Oh my gosh.
Let's just
talk about that.
But
she could. But
and the whole journey here is for people to like figure out things about themselves.
Yes.
Okay, right? The Scarecrow wants a brain. The Tin Man wants a heart. The Lion wants some courage. Well, the Lion is the most courageous in this movie, completely acting like himself during a time where I'm sure that was hard. But there's nothing like
Yes.
he was brave. Okay. He was very emotional, vulnerable, hard on the sleeve. That's brave. That's courage. Okay. Right.
Well, that's what he finds out at the end from Professor from the Wizard of Oz, is that he actually had it in him all along,
Right.
and like to
when he
avoid
goes to the
danger is
psycho
actually
cult leader. Yeah.
listen.
Well,
The psycho cult leader needs to be talked about because this
I
is
have
just
so many notes on the
this is
wizard is the most. But side note,
whew.
I just
All
don't
right.
feel like anyone. I think everybody in this movie got something out of it for themselves. And I'm talking about the characters. Except
Yes.
all Dorothy figured out about herself was that she's a child that gets homesick sometimes. I mean, there was no, she didn't, there was no deep evolution of who she was. She was like, I do miss my mean Auntie M. And like, well, of course you do. You're a child.
Don't
You're
you
going to get
think
homesick. Everyone else gets all this like self-discovery and they're all like meditating by the end and like going to a shaman. And here is poor Dorothy's just like, I did this for everyone else. Don't worry about me. I don't matter. Okay, bye.
But she also, though,
Thanks
I
for the
feel like
shoes.
there's not an insignificant amount of guilt that she is presented with, because I
Shame
feel
spiral.
like it is a shame spiral. I mean, I'm sorry to talk about it this way because I know people are going to be offended.
I know.
But I'm also like, but everybody's lighten up and just put your books down.
It's the holidays.
We're just
Come on.
self-indulgent. But, it's like she is basically shamed for being a little shit at the farm. And then she has this bonk on the head dream, fever dream, whatever it is, and realizes that she's been a little shit. And she comes
shit
back
that didn't want her dog to get destroyed. That makes her bad.
Right.
Okay.
So she's like, I'm just kind of like,
she's like, I'm an ungrateful little twerp.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. But you know what helps?
I really do
with
miss
kids?
them. I really,
yeah. And she didn't figure this out till the end-ish because you give a kid ruby shoes, you're going to distract them from any type of like actual emotion for a while. It's like when I put my niece and nephew in front of the TV, if they're like freaking out about something, it's like, here you go. Here you go.
Boom.
So we're all going to suck this energy and like suck this experience out from under you because we gave you these shoes because we're all trying to get something for ourselves. Thanks. Here, look at your shoes. Look at your shoes. Hey, Dorothy, don't you be thinking about yourself. Look at your shoes. You got to take us to the wizard.
You got to take us to the wizard.
You shut your pretty little mouth and look at those shoes and we got to hit it. Let's go. I mean, even the trees are angry. All of these people have such chips on their shoulder.
So
why are those trees so mad?
No,
Angela, tell me. I asked Scott. I was like, "Is this the angry forest?" He was like, "Not that I'm aware of." I was like, "Whoa."
No, it's called the
ominous.
It's like the what is it called? I can't remember right now. It's called the Daryl. Darren.
I think
Jeffrey, help us out.
The witch? I think the witch maybe put a spell on the trees.
I don't know.
I think she
just know that everywhere they go, the witch is flying around and
she's like setting it all up. Which I love the effects of the witch flying, the special effects.
God. I mean,
that little bitty stick figure but like the thing they did is the actual effects.
Yeah.
That's my favorite is watching that little twig thing fly in the air.
Yes, I know.
And spell out. And this is one of my other favorite parts, other than the flying monkeys with surfer mullet haircuts.
Okay, well,
she spells out not "I'll get you" or "look out," like something simple with the broom. It's surrender, Dorothy.
Yeah,
that's a lot to spell out.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot. This witch was a badass. She was not messing around.
But even that scene, I'm like waiting. I'm like, what's she gonna write? And it's like, sir. Wow. I'm like, sir. Oh, surrender. Oh, okay. So, and I think the Scarecrow even said, "Surrender, Dorothy." This was before the brain. I'm like, motherfucker, if you don't have a brain, you are not using words like surrender. That's a little elevated. Am I right?
Yeah. So let me just, before we go all the way through this, I want to ask you, what is your favorite character in The Wizard of Oz? Do you have one?
Oh, yeah.
Who's your favorite?
I think as far as like complexity, the wizard.
Ugh,
I know, because I feel like he's got he's like plays 8 different people,
and
he's like literally he's such an asshole. But I love that he's like 8 different people. So he's such a psychopath that he has like all these different presentations of himself in each moment. But I've always loved the Wicked. I know, that's why it's I mean, like he could star in his own Wizard of Oz Part 9, The Heist, like Scary Rotten Scoundrels featuring
like what
the Wizard of Oz
after he flies off in that hot air balloon.
But I also love the Wicked Witch of the West. She was always like so like good and scary, but also like weird and interesting. And I'm like, she's green, and she's got this
so
like
mean.
I know. I should have just said
the
Dorothy.
Bad people in this. You like the bad people in Wizard
of Oz. I
like
the interesting people.
I mean,
okay.
I mean, that's interesting to me.
Favorite character, Toto.
Right.
If you want my real answer.
Yeah.
But I also and the lion. I do love the lion. I think the lion, like of the like fun characters. I think the lion's my favorite.
The lion's your favorite. So
Who's yours?
I don't. That's what you were going to ask me. I knew you were going to ask me that. I think my favorite character is Dorothy.
Oh, well,
for sure, because I'm
that's
a
like
basic.
a given.
Because I'm a basic bitch.
No.
Apparently,
I just think that's understood because she's like she's the best
one. The protagonist, the heroine, whatever.
Of all the other characters.
Of all the others, I think of all the friends along the journey, I think my favorite has always been the Scarecrow.
Of course,
I know, and I think it's because I like his song.
That was her best friend.
He was her best. She was his favorite most of all. I mean, the Scarecrow also has that really good song, If I Only Had a Brain. That is a good song.
All the songs are catchy.
But I love the lion, man.
Love the lion. He's
the
my
cowardly
favorite.
Lion. If I were the king of the forest. It's like so good,
I think that
all the
actor
songs
was amazing.
are so good.
And I was saying that out loud to myself. I was like, God, he's amazing.
Bert Lahr. Is his name. I know. Pretty amazing.
The lion has always been my favorite of those 3.
Yeah. I mean, I could do without Glinda the Good Witch. I love her outfit. Oh my gosh. I love her outfit.
I'm going to say this for a chick stop, but I have a story about Glinda. Just don't let me forget. It's not really about her, but it's anyway.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I love her when she would come down in her like glass.
I thought she was the most beautiful.
It was, like,
this
so
was like
gorgeous.
What beautiful was. Like her and Jessica Rabbit. I was like, if I could look like them.
I know. Billy Bird. Billy Bird, is that her name? Billy Bird? I think that's her name. I can't remember her name.
Was she in other stuff?
I think she was. And so, and I do have a fondness of sorts for the witch, even though she scares the crap out of me and she's so mean and makes me cry. Like to this day.
Yeah.
If I see her, I'm scared. Okay, so Natalie, let's get into some deep put your books down style character analysis of these characters. Okay.
Right.
We've already talked about Dorothy a little bit and how this is it's a heroine's journey, but it's also kind of based in guilt and teaching. It's kind of teaching a lesson to her, and it's kind of like,
it's tough. It's too tough love. And honestly, this episode is like a love letter to Dorothy. If anything, we're like, girl,
it is, girl.
We feel you.
Yes.
We also have grown up with shame.
Yes.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
I want to grab her and be like, look through this Brene Brown book with me. Let's talk through it. I got you. I want you to read all these Brene Brown books.
This is a really good book. It's called Eat, Pray, Love.
No, it's called like the one I actually have is like Love and Shame and Forgiveness, something. Any Brene Brown book, just let's do that.
Right.
We're gonna watch that.
Totally.
Then we're gonna watch a Sandra Bullock movie.
Right. We're gonna show you fried green tomatoes, and then you're gonna get you're gonna.
She won't cry. She'll be like, "This was like a Wednesday night." Fried green tomatoes. She'll be like
Tawanda.
She's like Tawanda. Like, I've lived. This is like a Tuesday afternoon.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. Yes. So it is a love letter to Dorothy, and
so go on. I interrupted you again.
That's no, that's okay. But let's say so she meets the Scarecrow first, and immediately I'm like, oh, that's cute, but he's so dumb. But he thinks he's dumb, but he's not dumb.
I don't think he is dumb.
He's not dumb. He's
just
a
choreographed dancing.
His choreography is unbelievable.
He sings amazingly well. has rhythm. The man has the scarecrow has rhythm. You don't have rhythm without a brain.
I know. And
that's why mine's not so great.
It's I guess it's also like, again, I mean, to be Captain Obvious about this, it's like, well, duh, the whole thing that you're watching the whole entire time is like, but he is smart, and he does
See,
have
I
a
didn't
heart,
get that.
and
I was
he is courageous.
Yes. I now see that. Like that's the point. I'm like, but at the time, Christ, you phonies.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys are so dumb. I mean, I get the lesson. Yes.
Yeah.
They already had it in there.
We don't know this. They already had it in them.
I should know that at 41 years old.
You probably should. But
I should have known.
I didn't pick up on that when I was a little kid, though. And I think that a lot of people don't pick up on it because they don't think that deeply about this.
But it is that, you know what that is, though? A really good message. A really
good message.
It's really sweet and it's really great. And actually, that's why if they just, maybe if we just cut the first 20 minutes and then just kind of show this to kids without the horrible intro.
I think the first 20 minutes is what gives it like...
I know, but they got to be ready. This is not for children. All right, it's not for children.
Girlfriend, I watched it when I was 4 years old.
Yeah. How old do you think I was?
I'm sure you were smaller than that.
No, I was also 4.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that. I just knew it made me scared. So I think that it needs to be an age where that are children that are old enough to feel the scare and know that it's okay, it's fake, but also understand a message.
But Natalie, like this is a trend.
And do I expect them all to be little philosophers and psychological geniuses?
Yes.
Maybe I do.
Listen,
in this
I'm
day and
just
age,
saying for years in this economy, for people who I know you didn't say it. Back in the day, the Grimm's fairy tales were meant to terrify children. I mean, the whole entire
Hansel and Gretel.
I mean, all those things, Cinderella, like all that stuff was meant to scare
like a
children.
Snuff film. Tell me, do you know why?
Because children had to be kept in their place, seen and not heard. Like, behave. Like, don't
even
rock
through
the
Disney.
Boat. It wasn't Disney, like pre-Disney.
Cinderella was.
But pre-Disney, like all those fairy tales and stuff were all meant to
Hansel and Gretel
terrify
is like,
children.
What is the lesson from Hansel and Gretel again? It's like, don't steal candy or
don't wander off from your parents or
don't wander off or don't break into people's homes and steal candy or
I think this is the thing that's funny about it.
Don't be a Frogger, PH. The PH.
Don't be a Frogger, PH.
Don't be a tiny little Frogger.
Don't be a little Frogger, PH.
I mean, what is
don't
that
be
lesson?
Like that. That's
it's not respect your elders.
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm saying. Like, why was this the thing to scare children?
I'm going to write a whole paper on this.
I know. Like, why was the thing always to scare children so that they would behave? Like, that was always what it was.
Because we were all raised out of fear. And that's why, while we all kind of make fun of, well, while we all kind of make fun and tease people about what they do now, it's called gentle parenting.
Right.
And my sister and Colin, like it's not so like, woo-woo, but like,
yes,
they don't want to raise their children to be afraid and, or use like fear as a way to behave.
And shame.
Yeah. And you know what?
And guilt.
It took me a long time to understand that because, I'm like, we were fine. I think that,
are we?
Well, it's all in perspective, but
right.
I think that's something that I've noticed like in the world is I think there's a healthy amount of fear of adults, right? I think that the fear shouldn't be that you're going to get hurt or in trouble. The fear should and not actual fear is not the right word, but like, I think a healthy amount of like, I don't want to break this rule and I don't want to get hurt. And they're acting like this to protect me. And I care about what my parents think about me to a point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, kids don't give a shit what parents, adults, like, there's not that like
barrier.
That whole, like, I still have it now.
That boundary.
Where I'm like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I'm like, to adults, and I'm like, and they're like, you're 42 almost. Like, I'm like, I have this thing where I don't want to disappoint to a degree.
It depends on the situation. first.
Right, but, like, I'm gonna piss you out, you're
Yes.
gonna break their rules, you're gonna make
Yes.
them mad, but it's
You're
all
supposed to.
about you're supposed to, but I don't
Yeah.
have that there was never that nonchalant, like,
I
I'm
don't
doing
care.
like, I don't care, I knew there would be consequences,
Yes,
and I
and
would
you were
choose
willing to
whether or not I was
take
willing
them.
to take them or not,
Yes.
but they're kids
That's
now, they're like, "I'm not having consequences, I don't care." You can
Mhm.
try to give
I
me a
know.
punishment and it doesn't they won't receive it. They're like, "No." And there's
I
nothing you can
know.
do. So,
I
there's
know.
that, like, weird balance of that I would never know how to navigate that. You know what all I would do if I had my own children? Guilt. I feel like bribery and guilt. That'd be all I'd be
I would
able to
do
do.
a
I'm
lot
like,
of bribery, I
"Please
think.
don't
Yeah.
hurt my feelings," because
I
you
know.
hurt them every 5 minutes. I wouldn't know what to do.
I know, it's hard. It would be really hard.
I just can't
I know
imagine.
as a couple of ladies who don't have our own children, we
Right.
really it is sitting out
Oh,
on the outside, like, looking in on people who do have kids, you're
I
like, "Oh my
I
gosh,
look
it
at
must
Lauren
be so
Collins, I'm
hard."
like, I looked at
Yeah.
like Isabel will just say something like, "Where's daddy?" instead of wanting to see Lauren, and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
damn,
Well,
girl." She's
that's
like,
normal.
"Natalie,
That's yeah.
please. I'm used to
Yeah.
it." I'm like, "How do you get
Yeah.
used to that?" I couldn't. I mean, you have to be so
There
emotionally tough.
You have to be tough, and there's a lot of rejection involved with children,
Yeah,
and
I feel that
yeah,
as an
and
aunt and as just a
yeah,
woman walking down the street when, like, kids snicker at me, I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm a douchebag. I'm gonna
I
go cry
know.
myself to sleep."
I know, but half the time it's just because kids are timid and they're just, like, they're nervous and
Well,
they
and
just
it's
need
not
to
about
be.
us, like, they're kids.
I know,
That's the
it's
whole
not.
thing. You have to remember, and I'm the worst about it. Kids are kids.
They're
And you
kids.
told me, you're like, "You're an adult.
Yeah.
Kids are kids.
You're the
You're an
adult in the
adult.
room. You're an adult in the room. They're kids, and
Kids are meant to be
they're
kids. Kids are weird. Kids are
you know,
mean.
one
Kids
of
are
one of the
lovely and
kids are
sweet and
kids are wonderful. Like, I have
yes.
a couple of students that are children, and it's so adorable because I'll go into a singing lesson with them, and they just do what I tell them to do. And it's like they
I don't
do. They just do what I tell them to do, and it makes you realize, like, you've gotta be very, very careful with
Yes.
children because they will do what you tell them to do. If
Right.
you're in a position of authority,
Right.
they will do what you want them to do.
Right.
And so that's also wrapped up in The Wizard of Oz because
Yes.
there's all these people telling her, "You have to go get this broom of the witch, and you have to go do this,
And
and
you
you
have
have
to
to go do
kill her
that,
and you have
and you
to
have to kill the witch, and you have to, you know, you have the it's almost like she has this responsibility to bring all these people, to get their heart, to get their brain, to get their courage.
and what
She's
does she
gotta do
get?
and all she gets is to go back home. That's
That's
all
it.
she wants to do is go back
She's
home.
homesick.
But
So she's like,
she
she's
has
the person to carry all the weight.
yes, she's carrying this whole load of all of this, and, and it's like, she's just gonna go do it. She's just gonna go do it because
They told
that's
her to.
that's what she's told to do, but it's also because she's lost and she doesn't know what to do unless somebody's guiding her, telling her, like, how
Well,
do I get
it's
back?
right,
How
like,
do I,
you're so vulnerable,
how do
like,
I
I would
meet
have
my
done all of
heart's
that too.
desire
I've been
here?
like, "Alright, do you have guns or what are
Yeah,
you
what do we
what am I
do?
supposed to do?" Like, how am I supposed to figure out about a bucket of water?
And I know, and the Glenda the Good Witch at the end is like, "Oh,
Helps her
well,
nada.
she's like, I could have told her at the beginning, but she needed to learn it for herself." And I'm like, "Oh my
And she has
gosh."
to be traumatized by flying monkeys
As
for
much
the
as
re with
oh my gosh,
surfer dude
the
haircuts for the
flying
rest
the
of her
fly
life.
let's just talk about the flying monkeys for just a
Did you
brief
not think
moment.
that main one was gonna say cowabunga?
I'm
'Cause I did.
you know what?
The
Like,
bleach blonde mullets, I did not remember seeing that.
they're
It was
they're
Point
still
Break meets Wizard of
yeah.
Oz with those
Oh my
monkeys.
my sister-in-law still to this day is so terrified of those flying monkeys. Like, if it comes on the
Yes!
TV, she's like
Oh, but,
70
like
years old.
well,
Like,
that's
if it comes on TV, she's like, "I gotta walk out of the room right now. I
mm,
can't handle these." But you know that one of the things with, like, narcissists like this witch, who is just an awful, terrible witch,
yeah,
she gets all these people around her to do all of her dirty work,
cult
and that's all the
leader.
flying monkeys. Yeah.
Well, and then the wizard
And then to
has a whole
find and then
different
to
cult vibe. He tricks people
ugh.
into thinking that he's doing all this and that, and, like, that he's this, like, Wizard of Oz, and they all believe him, and they're being conned. But then the Witch of the West is just scary.
They're all just cons.
I know.
They're all cons,
I
and
know.
that's the other thing about this is that you watch this and you feel so duped the whole time when you figure it out. You're like, oh my gosh, you mean all I had to do was throw water on this witch? And oh my gosh, they get back to Emerald City and they find out that this guy is just the great and powerful Oz is just this like guy behind a curtain, like just making up, things.
He's just a normal guy.
He's just a normal guy trying to scare. And then this is what pissed me off. When she gets back, she's got the broom and she's killed the witch. And she says to the wizard, okay, we did everything you told us to do. Here's the broom. Dear Sir Wizard, here it is. She puts the broom down and he's like, oh, well, no, that's not all you got to do. You got to go back. You got to go back and you got to do this other thing too. But he's moving the goalposts.
Yeah.
And that is
always adding on.
Oof.
But I didn't notice all that when I was young watching it because you know what? I had my own metaphorical ruby slippers and they were called the multicolored horses. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I was so obsessed with all the different colored horses until I think I heard that they were actually dyed.
They were actually dyed.
That makes it not as fun for me. But in the moment, I'm like, oh my God, he's such a con artist. I'm like, go back to the colored horses, like all those horses. Yeah. So, they distract you with, but it's so deep. Like the wizard distracts these townspeople of Oz with all these shiny, beautiful things that distract from the fact that he's completely devoid of sentiment.
He's devoid of sentiment. He's devoid of
smoke and
empathy.
Mirrors. Literally,
he's smoke and mirrors. He's a con man.
He has like 25 different handlebar mustaches.
Oh my gosh!
Of different lengths, colors, and sizes. I mean,
yes,
he does. Hoarding every type of handlebar mustachio.
Oh my gosh, he's a handlebar mustachio,
but still looks like
hoarder.
The same person through all of the disguises.
Whew.
Anyway,
yeah.
Okay, so bottom line, I think talking about this with you and going through this makes me love it more than I've ever loved it in my entire life. And
me too, because I feel like we could talk about it forever.
I could talk about this forever.
Same. I could talk about this
and
for
that's
so long.
Fun.
There's so many
and
things
nobody knows what's going to be. Anyone that's listening to this that knows me or is in town, if you don't think that this is going to be the hot topic of whatever happy hour we'll be having over the next 3 months, I want to know your thoughts.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You know?
Can I do a little plug for one of my shows that's coming up?
Wait, we got to do a little quick chick stop.
Oh yeah, okay, sure, yes.
But do the plug, then let's do that. Do that now.
Okay, so I have a show coming up. Actually, by the time this airs, the show will have already happened. However, one of the tunes that I'm singing in the show is from the musical Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Did you know that there was a musical on Broadway called Dirty Rotten Scoundrels? I know it was unfortunate. We didn't get to go. Maybe it kind of bombed, maybe. I don't know.
No, we were going to go in COVID. That and Moulin Rouge.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the songs is called Nothing Is Too Wonderful to Be True. And it's this gorgeous song. It's like, look at the way the moon behaves. Look at the way she paints a silver ribbon on the waves, leading directly to me and you. Nothing is too wonderful to be true. And that is a line. I know.
Beautiful.
I know. And I just realized that nothing is too wonderful to be true is what Dorothy says right after Glinda the Good Witch says, you had the power all along. She goes, that's too wonderful to be true. I never knew that.
Head explosion.
Major head explosion.
God,
it's like a total nod.
So deep.
It's so deep. And it's also like this movie is
wonder
deep.
People
and it's also,
make lifestyles out of it.
I know. It's a cultural touch point for our entire country, the United States for sure, and maybe the world. I mean, I don't really know in other cultures how they view The Wizard of Oz, but I know for me, it's been a lifelong thing. And the holiday season kind of brings it out of me, like wanting to watch The Wizard of Oz and wanting to just sit down and get cozy with it, you know, just because it's just so familiar and comforting, even though it's so terrifying.
But it is.
I know.
It's like a safe. It's like a safe,
and
terrifying.
The music and
like it's like a safe way of being scared.
Yes,
you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
but it still scares you in the moment of the movie. It's like, it's like when I cozy up with a hot mug of, spiked cocoa, and I put on 7, and I know what's going to happen, but I'm cozy with the rain sounds and Morgan Freeman speaking and the what's the thing, the piano with that clicks back and forth?
Oh, the metronome.
Metronome.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a cozy
it just
feeling.
Makes you feel good. Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
Exactly.
I'm going to do a quick chick stop real quick. It's about the witches. Both
witches.
Let's
just do a little sound.
All right.
Chicka. Bow.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So quick about Wicked Witch of the West. The actress. Yeah. You know that when she is in, I don't know what's Munchkin Land, and she like leaves. They do the explosion, and an elevator was taking that actress down. Margaret Hamilton. She got third-degree burns on her face, and they had to postpone filming. Meanwhile, Glenda, the empty, vapid, Regina George of the witches, the other day on Drew Barrymore's talk show, which I love. By the way, I love Drew Barrymore. I think she's darling. Ariana Grande was on there.
Oh yeah.
Promoting Wicked, and Drew Barrymore borrowed the actual wand, Glenda's wand, from the Smithsonian, and handed it to Ariana Grande. And the emotional connection that they had during that moment was so wonderful. And she's like holding this wand, and she's just like, I can't believe you did this for me. And Drew Barrymore's like, of course I did. And then they like hug, and then Ariana Grande goes on this like speech about how wonderful Drew Barrymore is, which she is, and just like,
oh my gosh,
they just like cried together, holding Glenda the Good Witch's actual wand.
That's amazing, actually.
Held by the new Glinda.
Right. That's so you saw Wicked.
I sure did.
I have not seen it yet.
So Darren got us all tickets. We all went. He had tickets months ago. So we went the secret opening at the IMAX.
Me, per usual, you didn't tell me because you didn't want me to feel bad, which I appreciate.
You were out of town.
I don't live where you live.
What?
I don't live where you live.
But you were out of town of your town. You were on a business trip.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
you went to see Wicked.
She's holding. So Ariana Grande is holding this wand. Moving on from that, and it was a really magical, sweet moment, like we're having right now.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And I sent the clip to Darren. Did we send it to each other? Anyway, I'll send it to you. Did I send it?
Okay, send it to me.
Anyway,
yeah.
It's really sweet.
Can I?
Let me just.
Wait. Can I?
I need to say something to you.
But it just.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, well, Natalie, we could talk or not talk about the Wizard of Oz.
I only want to talk about it
for a long time and still find things
I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
We haven't even touched on the fact that, like, man, that Tin Man, good-looking guy. Who do you think is the gayest of the characters? Do you think it's the lion? Or do you think it's the Tin Man? I kind of think it's the Tin Man. I've always thought he was like the gayest. You know? I mean, these are gay icons. The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy, is a gay icon. There's no reason to dance around this.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. No. I think you're right.
Yeah, if you're a friend of Dorothy, it means, back in the day, if you were in the closet in the code, like the Stonewall days, if you were a friend of Dorothy.
Well, let me tell you something. If you think it's the Tin Man, that's a whole other deep dive. That is an entire new thesis paper because he's looking for a heart.
Yes.
And he cries all the time.
I know. It's
an emotional roller coaster because he's lonely.
You know what I hated was that he's lonely.
And he freezes up and he's all alone.
He freezes up
because he can't share his heart. He can't be who he is. He can't be who he is. He can't share anything from this empty heart because he's so lonely and scared.
Because he's gay.
Right. I mean, it's just...
He's the most... Like, I feel so terrible for that guy.
I know.
I want him to just be well-lubed at all times. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Hey-o. Angela, this is a child show. Just kidding. Oh my God, no. It's
Darren and Jeffrey are laughing hysterically.
Oh my God.
I couldn't get out of here without saying that.
We went a little over on this episode,
we did
but it was
go a little over,
absolutely
but it's the Wizard
necessary.
of Oz. It's the Wizard of fucking Oz,
Thank you very much, and it's so good, and it's so important.
Right.
This is a really important movie.
It's important, and we have to remember that
we might have 4 more parts of this. I don't really know.
We could.
Don't unsubscribe just because I said that. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. Obviously, we've all had enough. I understand.
Yeah.
I got it.
Right.
I'm reading The Room right now, and we're not going to do it. Okay?
But people should go
rewatch it.
Wizard of Oz. Rewatch it with new eyes. Rewatch it with adult eyes. Rewatch it and think about these
It's crazy wonderful. It's crazy complicated. It's just it's an emotional roller coaster in all the ways. Like you're scared, you're happy, you're full, you're weirded out, you're confused, you're sad.
You're sad. Yeah. And you're grateful when she finally does go back
But it's an amazing film. I mean, it is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to tell them it's amazing.
I can watch it on mute just to watch it once it's in the once it starts being in color.
Have you ever done the thing with Pink Floyd?
Who just said that to me the other day about the Pink Floyd thing?
Maybe Scott. It sounds like something Scott would tell you.
And that it actually measures up.
Yeah,
if you mute it and play the Pink Floyd album, which one?
Yeah.
I'm assuming the
Wall.
The Wall, yeah. So and then it actually does line up with the Wizard of Oz, right? Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dark Side of the Moon, not The Wall. Dark Side of the Moon.
But
sorry, that's how dorky I am. I don't even know. It
actually does this amazing thing. Yes. I bet if we do that, Scott will watch it with me again when he's not asleep. I don't want to. I mean, it's not fun. It's it's like honestly, if you really want to get into this, like I think people should watch it by themselves if they're doing character analysis. Otherwise, I was going to talk to Scott the whole time about like validating my opinions.
Yes.
But I think it'd be really fun to do the Pink Floyd thing. Like, eat a gummy, put the Floyd thing on, just do your thing.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Nothing says the holidays more than that to me.
You know what's fun is do something like that, put it on, and then like decorate your tree or like, pour some. Yeah.
Pour
like
do
good stuff like that. Yeah.
Scott makes the best nog.
Does he make it from scratch?
Of course not. But we did get the Martha Stewart. Did you see her Martha Stewart's recipe? Did you send that to me?
I've made it before, and
that's a
delicious.
lot of booze.
It's a lot of my gosh. She puts in like
it's like a fake. It's like, almost like a skit. She's like cognac.
I know. She's like
bourbon. I mean, it's like a gallon per thing.
It is, and she goes, "Okay, now 2 cups of bourbon, now 2 cups of cognac."
It seems
and
like a lot, but it's boozy.
She's like, "It's boozy, but you only have a little bit." And I was like,
"Not
speak
my
for yourself, Martha."
Yeah, we have big gulps.
I do have.
Scott and I like the big cups, big old cups.
I did go buy some store nog just
we have store nog.
I was like, I gotta have some store nog.
We have store nog.
I had some last night, and I made it super boozy right after my gig. And I was like, Frank, you want a sip of this? And he took a sip out of a straw, and he's like, "Oh,
what kind of the nog do you get?" We got some traditional
like the local.
Oh,
I get like
fancy.
It's like no, it's just like it's literally like at the grocery store. It's just the local.
I got mine at the liquor
creamery.
Store. Mine's mine's like spiced.
Already mixed.
Mine's like Captain Morgan's, not really, but like it's just it's like already mixed, and then we add.
Do you put rum in your nog, or what do you? I put whiskey in my nog.
Scott put Kahlua and whiskey.
Ooh, Kahlua, that's a good idea.
It's good.
Well, I put Uncle Nearest whiskey in mine. It's really good. Yes. It's really delicious. It's really good.
Yeah,
somehow we've gotten through that bottle of Uncle Nearest that somebody gave us. I'm like,
it just happens. It just
it's crazy. Like,
I know.
How did that happen?
How did we start talking for so long?
I don't know. Anyway, all right, we're gonna wrap her up.
Look at me.
Yeah,
it's the holidays.
It's the holidays, Natalie.
And it happens. It's all about gabbing, chatting, sway dancing, and living your best life through all the weird family moments.
100%.
And just enjoying everyone around you.
Yes.
Because you remember everyone, one person. You don't have to be around anyone. But if you're as fortunate as, then you can. But if you need a beat, take a beat.
Take a beat.
Go hide in the bathroom for a minute. There's nothing wrong with that. Drink your eggnog in the bathroom.
Okay? Go have your eggnog in the bathroom.
Have a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Make yourself.
Do you?
You know what else? You could also make French toast with eggnog. Anyway, that's just an aside.
Oh, well, now you're just blowing my mind.
Stop it.
Okay, Angela.
Well,
Oh,
don't forget to subscribe to Put Your Books Down on our YouTube channel, please. Please don't forget to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us so much. We love it when you write reviews. We love it when you just give us 5-star ratings. And follow on Instagram.
We love the DMs. And honestly, you tell us what you want to talk about. We'll do it.
We'll do it. We'll do it. Natalie is the one responsible for all these amazing reels that we've been having lately. You guys, her reels are so good. I was like, Natalie, you have to be our reel person forever. Like, she's so talented and good at the reels.
We're trying to find things that I'm good at. And Angela took it as an opportunity to be like, reels. I was like, you know what? I actually am.
You are really good at it. You're like, you have a job doing reels.
Thanks.
Good.
I'm getting real.
You could make, oh, I see what you did there. All right. Is real. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, say Merry Christmas. And to you, I say, Natalie, namaste. Clicking my heels together and remembering that there's no place like home.
Angela.
Yes.
Happy holidays. I love you so much.
Love you.
And I'm going to say to you, namaste. Follow the yellow brick road. Not in a weird way. Love you.
Got it. Love you too.
Bye.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Oh my.
Follow the yellow brick road. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Okay.
Woo. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Now, isn't that better? Thanks for listening. Feel free to leave us a review and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your shows. Put Your Books Down is produced by ClantonCreative.com.